Hello and welcome. So in this lecture we will discuss about the contains method with the XPath locator. We have understood the text method with the XPath locators, and a text method is having some limitations. So now to overcome these type of the limitations, we have the one more method that we call the contains method. So on my screen you can see the XPath with the contains plus the text method. So this contains method will work with the text method and the attribute. How? We will see in this lecture. So it is used when the value of any attribute changes dynamically. We understood the limitations of the text method. If the text method is dynamic, then we cannot use the alone text method. So for that we have the contains method. So it is used when the value of any attribute changes dynamically. Has an ability to find the element with partially text value. With the text method we cannot go with the substring of the text. We need the exact match of the text method. Text available on the web page, but when we are going with the contains method we can use the partially text value, or you can see the substring of the text on the web page. Now this you can see /label, and this is the contains method. Okay, and in the contains method we pass the text method. Now that is the comma. Okay, and in that when we have the single quote. This is not the double quote, this single quote, and we need to pass the text. Okay, we will see during the example how you can design, so don't worry about that. Locators properties are dynamically generating. Okay, when we have the locators and these properties means the attribute values are dynamically generating, in such situations we can go with the contains method. So on my screen you can see this is the blog.google. Okay, and on this page we have the one button is the subscribe button is there, and we have the other buttons also, like subscribe button is there. So we want to inspect and we will understand the contains method in such conditions. So let's first inspect this one. So I will go to this button, right click and inspect this one. Alright, so if you want to understand this one, let me scroll up, and now here this is the one link. This is start with the anchor. Okay, we have the class. This is the big class attribute value, and this is the hyperlink, and this is the label and data content, and here you can see the subscribe visible text is there. Now if you want to use the text method, you can see there is the space before the subscribe text. So we can avoid the text method here alone. When we want to use the text method alone, we can avoid as of now. And now how we can write the XPath using the contains method for such type of the web element. So if you want to understand more, I'm just going to copy this web element and let's go to our whiteboard. Okay, so we have this web element here. Now for this web element you can see this is the subscribe text is there. So I want to write the XPath using the contains method, because this visible text is having the space before this string. So how I can write? So /. Now you can put this star, based with the star, bracket. In the bracket you can type contains string, then you put the bracket method, and after that you put the method. Okay, in this now you are dealing with the text, so here you can pass the text method. after the text method put the comma, then give the space, then single quote. In the single quote you can pass this string as it is, so best you can copy from here. Okay, it is taking the space also, so I'm just going to copy as it is, and in this bracket you can pass the string. It is taking the space. Okay, so this is the example of the contains with the text method. For now, let's understand the difference. So if I want to write with the text method, how I will write: double slash bracket double slash star bracket text method equal to double single quote, and here the subscribe. If I use the text method for this one, so now you can see the difference. When I use the text method with the contains, I am using the comma, and when I using the text method alone, so when I'm using the text method alone, I am providing the equal to sign. Okay, this is the big difference. So you should not provide the equal to when you are using the text method with the contains function. So best you can use the comma. So now let's design the same XPath in our browser to check it is highlighting or not. So again, just learn how. Now again, learn how will you do: double slash star bracket contains, then your method. Inside the method type the text is the method, comma, single quote, and in the single quote you need to pass the value of this web element. So we have the value as it is here. Yeah, so now you can see this is the one-of-one matching, and it is including the space also. Okay, so this is the contains method. So if I remove the space, you can see I have the 1/4 matching. If I give the space, with the exact match I am getting the 1/1 matching. So if I remove the space before this text, subscribe text, you can see I am getting the multiple matchings. So there are the 8 matchings, those are available on this page, but still the contains function with the text is working. Okay, so now if I want to highlight the first one, so that we will use the group indexing, we will see in the details in the next lecture, but here we have the 1 and the 2 matchings space. Now let's inspect the one more web element. So I'm just going to inspect this, the keyword. Now you can see this is the one more web element. Okay, let's copy and let's understand here. This is the one more web element, and for this web element, so this is the keyword one more web element. So you can see this web element having the space of the starting of the text, space after of the text, and space in the middle of the text. So in such situations we can use the contains method with the text function in the XPath locator. So how we can use that? Let's design the XPath again. Okay, so now how we can do that? For this one, the keyword, so first double slash put star and bracket. In the bracket you can type the contains, and you have the function. In that we have the text because we are dealing with the text, and then comma, then double quotes. In the double quotes you need to pass this string. So if you pass the exact this one, you can also pass the substring. So now you can see I just remove the spaces. So you can see I remove the spaces. So now I have the 5 matchings for that, the keyword. Okay, so if I'm doing with that, I'm just removing the space before the text and after the text. If I want to use the substring, so I just want to use the keyword, I will remove the. So now I can see I have the 6 matching of this web page. So the contains method for the text will work for the substring of the text. Okay. Now you have the 6 matching. So we cannot use this XPath for our testing because it will give because we don't have the unique locators for this one. If I write this locator, it will fetch the 6th web element, and by default it will click on the first one. And if I want to click on the 6th one, in that case our script will fail and we will not perform the required operation on this web page.